And hello, this is things you might not have heard for the 18th of December, 2025. Quick sip of coffee and a quick math bit. 25 minus 18 would give you 5, 6, 7, something like that. 8 days to Christmas? No, that's not quite right. But we'll work the math later of that one. So um, yeah, Christmas is next Thursday, so it's like soon. We'll do the math with an actual calculator later. Christmas is coming up. Don't mess it up like I'm messing up, and don't mess up your news coverage that we're going to give you right now. We have 8 stories for you for this Thursday morning to get you started on your day. If you're just early up with this at 5:30 a.m. Central Time, or if you're watching this on a replay, just sort of to get you caught up on what's going on. In the queue today, Trump in prime time, plus another extra Trump story, not in prime time. He did a lot of stuff yesterday. We're only basically focusing on two specifically. Well, three, because Mick Foley is also in this one. He's Trump adjacent as well. And we're going to my old Hope and Stomping Grounds, People Station, Power 92 Jams here in Little Rock, as a bit of a viral hit came about, and it was a bit of a swerve, if you will. Talk about those stories and more coming forward. Now, remind you that our website home is a conversationproject.com, so you get all the details about what we do, how we do it, and the whys of the doings of things around here. And plus, one more thing, we will talk about some spotlight sponsors and folks like that to help us pay the bills. We want you to check out one of them. We'll give you more details on Ground News, which takes care of us every single day with our news coverage here. So we'll get you all that covered right here. Right now, let's get into the news coverage as advertised just a moment ago. From the teaser graphic to the actual talking about it, Trump delivers a partisan primetime address last night with claims that the economy is stronger than voters believe. So don't believe your lying eyes or your big fat paychecks or your not so big fat paychecks and the big fat costs for all the things that are out there. Believe me, Donald Trump. The primetime address framed as "you're doing better than you think," that narrative, which isn't quite flying very well, is pairing rosy charts with a pledge to pick a Fed chair and some other good things that popped in there. That was basically one of the biggest surprises of that. But I guess the biggest one is a big deal. $1,776 in a warrior dividend as a holiday bonus for all service members that is basically coming from tariff revenue. Economists and reporters are basically scrutinizing because they're not sure where it's coming from, how it's being paid, and how much the $2,000, basically $1,500, basically will do for most troops. If you're a general, not all that much. If you're a buck private, it might mean a big deal. But spread across the millions of troops we have across the nation and the world, it's a big number. The president also insisted that core prices are easing and real wages are going up, while public sentiment remains sour because they don't see prices easing or wages going up. The expectation gap he blamed on the media as Democratic sabotage. It's all a hoax by the Democrats. He also previewed the housing and tax measures that are aimed at lowering monthly payments and pitching policy as pocketbook 2026 midterms. What's going to happen is the big, beautiful bill will come into effect on the 1st of January or fairly quickly in bits and pieces. And all the things that have been passed there that most economists say will basically crater our economy will make things better, or at least for the richer people who already have a big stake going forward. The coverage has been crazy. It's not your typical Oval Office primetime message. It was essentially all the grievances being aired for your Festivus by one Donald Trump. Essentially, you're wrong. I'm right. We're doing really, really good. And just deal with it because you'll see us so soon. More grievousness and more pettiness, because that's the only way to describe this, as Trump unveiled new Walk of Fame plaques targeting Obama, Biden, and other political figures from the past presidents, in a way that no one could have ever figured out was going to happen. If this was on your bingo card, you're a liar, because it was not. White House installed partisan plaques along with the Presidential Walk of Fame this week that deride Biden as the worst, call Obama as divisive, and a striking break from nonpartisan tradition. What was just a basic wall of plaques, a bunch of pictures of past presidents and a little blurb about them, is now a bit more personalized based on Donald Trump's leaving. Press Secretary Karen Leavitt said that many inscriptions were authorized by Trump himself. No surprise. And photos and pool reports show how permanent markers under the official portraits. Yeah. Newsrooms flagged factual issues on several plaques and noted that the risk of turning a federally maintained site into a campaign-style propaganda site could be problematic, could be bad, could not be a good thing. The rollout coincides with other controversial campus changes, including the new ballroom, which is now a big pain in the butt for everyone because now there's a hole in the side of the building and a big old empty spot. And people are talking about the magic bunker that was under there that is, of course, now exposed. So now it's a national security's problem. Trump reinforces aesthetics and messaging imprints on the complex, changing everything to look his way. Gold everywhere, so it's there. And undoing this is going to be quite a bit of a standard going forward. Reaction from this one right here, a span from GOP discomfort to Democrat outrage, with coverage emphasizing the novelty and the potential durability of partisan White House fixtures. It's not as easy to undo these things as people think it is. So undoing things as silly and simple and just stupid as this tends to be a bigger deal than it ought to be. The U.S. government is actually acknowledging its role in the Washington helicopter and plane collision that killed 67 people. In a court filing yesterday, DOJ admitted the FAA air traffic controller errors and the Army pilot failures attributed to the January Potomac collision that killed 67 total people. The government acceptance of liability reshapes the ongoing litigation and could shift exposure away from the airline defendants. The NTSB's work continues to actually work on the actual investigation, but again, investigators have basically cited altitude and visual separation issues, plus night vision goggle limitations as contribution factors to this actual crash. The FAA is restricted by certain things. They're trying to hold back certain helicopter operations near DCA and the Pentagon while safety reviews are being pushed. Family attorneys are basically lauding this opinion, calling the administration significant for accountability and compensation prospects. We shall see who pays out to whom extremely soon for this issue. Ohio University, make sure you get it straight, Ohio University has fired its football coach, Brian Smith, over some serious professional misconduct. Termination of one Brian Smith as head coach for serious professional misconduct. That is a quote from this college following administrative reviews of Smith's denying the wrongdoing that was there. University named John Hauser interim coach while prepping for the Frisco Bowl, signifying a stability and a play posture to keep things going for the team. Reporting indicates that contract violations, finding, and reputation concerns, though specific allegations, are sealed pending some potential legal action. Eventually, we'll know what's going on, but the fact that he's not the first coach dropped in the coaching carousel, but he's from let's say, a lower school, Ohio University, not the Ohio State or University of Ohio. Smith's attorney called the firing wrongful, setting up a likely dispute over cause, his buyout, and any reputational damage that may pop up here. He's the program's third leadership search in many seasons, raising questions about continuity, recruiting, and donor confidence for this school in particular. 4 more headlines to get to in just a moment. But first, I want to remind you that we are here, and we are here because of you. Now, last night, when we did the recap of the presidential address, we talked about the number of folks we have that are signed up as our current list of subscribers. I believe that number is 2,000. It's 2,700 and something like that. So we're happy to have that number, but we want to be a bigger channel. We want to have more reach. We want to be more stout, if you will. So we need you to help us grow by simply liking the videos you're watching. Like the videos, and the algorithms will see that it's worthy of being shared with the folks, and they will hopefully join in the fun. Like the video, I know I'm doing work that's worthy of y'all folks. I'll do more of it, and you'll hopefully like more of them. Like them and share them as well. Share them with like-minded people, so hopefully they will join in on the fun and join in on the frivolity. They will engage, and they will like, and they will do all the same. If you're not getting these videos directly into your feeds every single day, make sure you're subscribed to our channels. And I'm going to say channels, because there's various different places you can get these things. There's the TikTok stuff. There's the newsletter we have via email. There's, of course, YouTube and X and Facebook. The feeds on X and Facebook help you pick out the stories as we grow them every single day. So like, share, and subscribe to help us grow our News Nerd Nation. There's a lot going on with the WWE right now, a lot going on with Donald Trump right now. And here's one where the two intersections collide. Donald Trump, who is a WWE Hall of Famer, is causing some issues for folks who work inside the company or did work, as the icon. Mick Foley has ended his relationship with WWE very, very swiftly. And he did it specifically over the Rob Reiner comments from Donald Trump. The Hall of Famer said that Trump's post about the late Rob Reiner was incredibly cruel, a quote from him, called the final straw, and he has cut his ties officially with WWE. In the Instagram announcement, Foley announced framing the decision as ethical, citing WWE's enduring ties with Trump as incompatible with his own values. The break underscores how Trump-adjacent controversies continue to ripple through entertainment brands and straddle sports and politics. The things that he is attached to become issues because he's still attached to them. Fan reaction to this one in particular was split. The Partisan comment number one, and the fact that Mick Foley, a very staunch one kind of performer and supporter of WWE things, is breaking away because of what's here. Industry writers are flagging potential fallout from WWE nostalgia programming built around Attitude Era stars. He is a star from the past, so does he make that much difference? When he pops up, people pop for him and it's there. But does he make that much difference in the current stature? Is he selling T-shirts? Is he selling out bookings? We shall see. Some reshuffling of some events that he may be attached to is there. He's still doing the circuits where he's signing autographs and doing Comic-Cons, things like that, which are independent of WWE type things. But we won't be there for official sightings anytime soon. The American Academy of Pediatrics is losing some federal funding, and this is based off some criticisms they have launched against Robert F. Kennedy Jr. HHS has terminated 7 AAP grants worth tens of millions across autism screening, SIDS research, adolescent health, and more, citing priority misalignment. That's the word they're using. The move is following months of public clashes between AAP and Secretary RFK Jr. over vaccine policy and scientific guidelines that have been in place for a while that he's essentially tearing apart. AAP has warned of immediate impact on frontline pediatric programs and is weighing legal actions. The group is publicly confirmed that the terminations have happened, so they're losing the money, they're losing the funding. What they'll do about it is in the future. Health policy experts call the cuts punitive and destabilizing to evidence to practice pipelines, essentially showing how things actually work and then doing them to practice and just killing them in the process, because you can think of your own reasons. I'll call it vindictive. They'll call it being mean to RFK Jr. You can make it your own sense. The coverage will be a complete, and it will be a comprehensive, and it will continue to show how RFK Jr. may or may not be qualified for the job he's doing and may or may not be tearing down the operation that he's in charge of keeping up. We've not talked about Pornhub in a while. We're going to talk about them and use the word because we need to, as hackers have breached Pornhub again, and now they're once again threatening to leak user data for viewing. Shiny Hunters is a hacker group that stole about 200 million analytics data records tied to Pornhub premium users with emails, title views, timestamps, and some third-party information, but not Pornhub's core systems. So they can't bust in and shut the whole thing down. But the parent company, Arlo's, confirmed the incident as affecting analytic data. Mixpanel denied being the breach source as investigators are continuing what's going on. What's happening is doxing or possible doxing. Essentially, the group is saying the extortion demands and leak monitoring are out there ongoing. They have a massive amount of information and can let it out to the world on who exactly is accessing Pornhub Premium, who's paying for it, what they're seeing, and what's going on. Security, hackers, things like that are all in the mix for this story. And this is a big deal because you're not safe these days. No one is safe these days. This may be an isolated incident of information that people rather you not have, but it's also a sign that people can get the information that they rather you not have that could be a bit more dangerous. This may be more on the lines of embarrassing. To some folks, it may actually ruin some lives and careers, but it's not credit checks and, your home access, things like that. So expect some class action filings to basically protect themselves, Pornhub, and the people who are paying to use it, and some other things with some saber rattling from the threats of the hackers who say they have the information from the adult site and say they're willing to toss it out to many folks to ruin a couple lives just to make sure. Power 92 Jams, a people station right here in Little Rock, Arkansas, a station I used to work for, is in national news. It's a smaller story, but it's a big deal because the circumstances around it are just so weird. Now, the hot mic sex on air clip, going along with our last story with Pornhub, is an actual hoax. And that's according to the station and reporting from TMZ. Basically, after this became such a big viral sensation, TMZ looked into it to see what was going on, and they found that it was basically a fake as well. The viral video stitches unrelated audio to a car radio shot, and that's all it is. It's a picture of someone's car tuned into 92.3, where there are, a half dozen 92.3s across the nation. And what's going on in the background is over the air, they say the sound is, the sex stuff in the car or on the radio. For people like someone's like in the radio, in the car, listen to the radio, they're having sex on air. They put their phone up and they record it. And it's like, he, check this out. The problem is it's wrong. It's false. It didn't happen. It literally didn't happen. In fact, the statement from the studio logs and automation show that didn't happen. The statement from the studio, which sounds like a press release because it is essentially that it's a hoax. It's not real. In fact, while this was being filmed and while this was being shown as true to be live, the station was actually doing a large remote or do a yearly fundraiser at what's called the Watershed. The Watershed is a organization that helps people in need. And for 3 days out of the year before Christmas, they go to the Watershed for Christmas at the Watershed. And while this was supposedly going on, they were broadcasting the Watershed. This is a statement that came from the president, Vice President Steve Laceman, and of course from various people, including the program director of Power 92 Jams, Broadway Joe Booker, my former bosses and folks I look up to very well. So while frustrating to not get any shots of the actual video, which took a whole lot of doing to get to and had to go to TMZ to actually figure out what was going on, their statement was simple. It's a hoax. Didn't happen. We're at the Watershed, so why don't you donate some money for them to take care of good folks for Christmas? And that's all they had to say about that. Let's move on to wrapping up on the day. We're going to wrap up with talk about the groundbreaking stuff you get from Ground News. Ground News allows you to get access to all the great news from all the places, literally all the places you can in one great place. They aggregate news stories from everywhere, local, national, international, and you can get a viewing of a story, a headline, something that you may think may seem a little odd, or something you may think may seem a little too good to be true, and kind of get it ahead of what other people are conversating about there, what people are talking about. For example, the 92.3 radio stunt that was out there, and trust me, when I worked there, the competition was all about doing lots of stunts to get us in trouble. It seems like a weird random thing, but it was real to the point where someone pranked the station and there was coverage, and you may have to go searching for it. Not exactly a big deal, but it was one that got another coverage there. So you got some insight onto it and how it was being covered. Stories about how Donald Trump and his primetime address went last night. Oh, trust me, it's all over the place with that one. And you can see all the damage, or all the good stuff, mostly damage, from that one by seeing who's covering it, how they're bringing it down. If you use our affiliate link at thisisaconversationproject.com/ground news, you can get their Advantage plan for 40% off. And what that will give to you is lots more great news and access to their blind spot feature, which will show you exactly what news stories are being overly portrayed by the left, the right, so that you get an unfair representation of either side. You get a great discount on your news. We get a small kickback in the way of commission for affiliate links. Everyone is happy. We use Advantage Plan ourselves every day. We use Advantage Plan and Ground News to help us decipher some of the stories that get a little weird. And so we want you to have a chance to do it as well. It's an app on your phone. It's a website. It's a great deal. They send out newsletters with things out there that kind of get you into So the shifting of things going back and forth. So you understand how news is being covered. Check it out by going to our affiliate link at this. It's theconversationproject.com/ground news. Our online home is thisistheconversationproject.com. Our email address, the conversation inbox at gmail.com. Visit us at our home for more information about what we do. Find more sponsors, partnership links in there, and email me with all the questions you may have about what we're doing. Follow us on our feeds on Facebook and X to help us pick the stories we choose every single day for presenting here and just kind of get a handle on things going forward. And that's it. Wrapping up on this Thursday, December the 18th, 2025. Thank you so much for being a part of what we do here for More Better Media, the larger umbrella, and of course, the Conversation Project, this thing here. More to come for tomorrow, wrapping up for the week. But tomorrow, remember, we're going to take off all week next week. We will do some hot takes, do some things here or there as just to have fun. But we're not going to do the morning thing because it's going to be a bit of a large, sort of hard thing to do. So because it is Christmas and 18 from 25 equals 7. 1 week till Christmas. See how math doesn't work so well sometimes. 1 week till Christmas. So I've got Christmas cards to put into the mail today. I've got a couple more gifts to pick up. I got to do some wrapping. We've got to prepare for the time away from the computer, family time. So I promise to the family, they're going to get it. Love y'all. Mean it so much. Out of here today. Let's knock this thing off again for tomorrow.